All right, so this is a continuation of the video I just did about Russell Westbrook and his struggles in the playoffs so far. And I don't know, I was just skimming through YouTube, just looking at some of the sports talk shows and some of the segments they did, and I saw this one on Speak for Yourself. I really do love this show. I mean, you get a majority, player's perspective. Sometimes you get GM's perspective, and it's not overshadowed by a female moderator who wants to yell their opinions about every fucking thing. I really do like this show, but to start the show off, Jason Whitlock went on a bit of a tirade about how he defended Russell Westbrook for a couple years after Kevin Durant up and just left, and how he was in Russell Westbrook's corner and he wanted to see this guy succeed, far more than when he was paired with Kevin Durant. I guess kind of to absolve him of some of that burden of Durant just leaving or whatever, and like I said in the other video, man, I think Russell Westbrook's biggest barrier, the biggest obstacle in his life, in his career, not his life, in his career, is his lack of maturity when it comes to late game composure. And, he just doesn't make the right choices in certain parts of the game. And a lot of times he lets his over-emotional nature get the best of him. And he needs to fix that, man. He needs to fix it. All right, so I'm going to let them talk, and I'm just going to join in.
And Fox Sports NBA analyst Jim Jackson. Marcellus, I'll start with you. You think Russell Westbrook will ever mature as a player?
You stop believing in him, huh? You done?
I just don't believe he's going to mature.
Are you finished or are you done? That's what I want to know right now, because, wow, we're talking about a guy who came off the bench in college, a 3-star recruit, who became the NBA MVP, and that's where we want to really put our focus and criticism on a top 10 player, a guy who's averaged a triple-double the last 3 years. This is not a maturity issue. This is a guy who went out there and put a franchise on his back after the departure.
All right, let me stop him right here. All right, a couple of things. One thing, this I'm using somebody else's video, but because I couldn't find the clip of the segment on Speak for Yourself channel, and so the audio was kind of like desynced. But another thing is, Marcellus Wiley, not only did he not answer the question, he avoided it altogether, and he kind of tried to turn the question. He kind of tried to make the question not make sense. Like, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with maturity. What you're talking about has nothing to do with maturity. And you can just tell, like, when you look at the faces of the guys that's sitting around Marcellus and as he's talking, and some of the points he makes are so asinine and doesn't make any fucking sense. It almost like he's willingly ignoring the question and trying to change the topic to his own, I guess, topic. And Whitlock has a look on his face of confusion, like, really, Negro? Like, this is what you're doing? And it's funny because normally when Marcellus Wiley, because like I said before, I made a couple videos about where I said this. I said Marcellus Wiley has the perspective of a fan. I mean, this dude used to play in the NFL, but he's always had the perspective of a fan because he's pretty much a fan. I mean, he was never really that great to be. He was never really that great to have an opinion from a player's perspective. It was almost like he spent his years in the NFL being fans of other great men, and you could just tell by some of the stuff he says. And I'm not saying that he's always wrong or anything like that, but he has a fan's perspective, and it's kind of refreshing because I like to sit back, listen to him talk, and sometimes I'll laugh at what he's saying, but I think he's defending Russell Westbrook because I'm pretty sure at this point everybody knows that this dude is a big LA fan. He's a fan, and most of the LA guys who are from LA or live in LA or have some kind of loyalty to LA, they defend anything coming out of LA. I mean, it's like that a lot of places, but LA is one of those rare places where it's almost like for us, by us type shit. So we're gonna stick together, that type of thing. And he's just taking that approach because I believe I know Russell Westbrook went to UCLA, but I believe Russell Westbrook might be from California. So I mean, he's just defending him. That's all it is, and he's not making any sense. Just look at Jason Whitlock's face. The more Marcellus Wiley talks, look at Jason Whitlock's face. He's going to have a look of pure confusion. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. That has nothing to do with what I just said. Like, you're just trying to change this. You're kind of trying to change the topic. And it's just funny.
Of another great player in Kevin Durant. This is a guy who is now looking around, and it's time to start calling out role players, but that's not who he is. This is a guy who has Paul George and himself, and even this year, if you say he's immature, why would you defer to Paul George when he was healthy and playing at an MVP?
You're talking about, all right, look, Russell Westbrook, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw this. Last year when they played the Utah Jazz, and they were all up in the Thunder's ass. Like, I mean, I believe in one of the commentators or reporters or whatever made it seem like Ricky Rubio was giving it to Russell Westbrook, and I guess it annoyed Westbrook to the point where that next game, and they lost the game. The next game, he decided to fucking focus all of his attention on shutting Ricky Rubio down, which completely threw off the defensive, I guess, game plan of the Thunder, and they lost that game because he was so intent. He wasn't focused on anything. He was just focused on shutting Ricky Rubio down. That's so stupid. I mean, I'm looking at the highlights and I'm like, nigga, you're acting like you're facing Curry. This is Ricky Rubio. And he completely, I believe they lost that game because he was so distracted by Ricky Rubio that it cost them. I believe he cost them that series, man. Westbrook he's a great talent, man. He's just not a great player, man. I'm sorry. And you just have those guys that are phenomenal talents, but they're not great players. They don't know how to phone everything in and channel it and turn it into greatness. They just know how to do some great things at times. And Westbrook is one of those guys, man. And the reason why I brought up the Ricky Rubio thing is because that's the reason why he started to defer to Paul George. Because Westbrook has a habit, even though he acts like he doesn't listen to what people are saying or he's ignoring what people are saying, he hears what people are saying. And to some extent, he cares. This is why he tried to play shutdown defense on Ricky Rubio. This is why he's deferring to Paul George, because people are saying that he can't do it. So he has to get out there and he has to prove them wrong. And that's stupid because it's completely throwing him off his game. So, you know, it's funny.
Level, if you're immature, if you're selfish, if you're not ready to win. He's trying to win at all costs. But
all right, yeah, because this stuff is kind of decent. Look at Whitlock's face. Even look at Jim Jackson is kind of just like trying not to make eye contact, and you could tell from the side that Chris Haynes over here, he's even giving him a look like, I don't think you understand the question that's being asked. And I believe he understands, but he's coming off as ignorant, and he's trying to change the topic to something different. So now it's not about a maturity thing. It's about, well, damn, how much can this guy do? He's doing everything he possibly can. That type of so stupid, man.
Today's NBA, as we're sitting next to a guy who covers a team with 4, 5 All-Stars, sometimes you just ain't got enough. I love Russell Westbrook in terms of his moxie, his tenacity.
All right, real quick. All right, this is the second time I heard him say this, but this is the first time I'm noticing what he's saying. All right. That would make sense and that would matter Look, I just looked at look at Jim Jackson's face, Chris Hayes. They're getting the kick out of this shit, man. Like, it's so stupid. That would matter if he's playing the Warriors in the first round. If he's playing like a team like the Houston Rockets in the first round, he's not. Russell Westbrook and the Thunder are playing the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trail Blazers, or like the San Antonio Spurs. Like, they're playing them. They don't have superstar, all-star caliber players riddled all throughout their team. You're not playing the Warriors first round and losing. You're playing the Utah Jazz, who last year had a rookie who played far beyond what anybody expected him to do and was the leader of that team. And I honestly believe that, Donovan Mitchell's a lot better than he has played this year. I don't think he really showed any improvement to his game, but I think that I don't know. I see shades of like D Wade when I watch him play, but as a rookie, he took it to you guys. That's the problem. And now this year you're playing against the Portland Trail Blazers. They don't even have Nurkic. Nurkic was big for them this year. Nurkic is supposed to be big for them every year because they're so guard heavy, the Portland Trail Blazers, that if you can abuse their weakness, which is the big men, you can beat them. If you could force Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum to beat everything for that team, you'll beat them almost easily. Like look at what the New Orleans Pelicans did. Not only did the New Orleans Pelicans big men abuse the big men of the Portland Trail Blazers, but you got solid contributions from Rondo and Drew Holiday, and it was on their ass, man, and they couldn't survive it. And now you're down 2-0 to this team that lost their third best player on their team. Like, it's not enough, bro.
I see the way he approaches the game. Could it be a better player? I'm sure he could get higher in the top 10 rankings. But there are 450 dudes in the NBA, man. And there's 440 dudes out there who need to do a lot more to even catch up to one Westbrook.
Yeah, it's 450 guys out there that needs to learn how to box out their own teammates for rebounds and block their own teammates' shots. Like, yo, this is so stupid, man.
To now try and get in that rarefied air and say he needs to be a perfect player. I like him the way he is, address the situations around him, coaching included, and maybe you'll get more results.
Gotta mature.
Yeah, he's gotta mature. I don't know why. He started rambling about just where he ranks as far as the grand scheme of the players. We're talking about how can we get him to a level to where he's the leader of a championship 10 team. Because look, right now, we can talk about the triple number, we can talk about all the stats piling up, but I need to see composure from him. I need to see him making winning plays down the stretch. I need to see him not losing it when he gets fouled and going bumping somebody, getting a technical in crucial parts of the game. I need him to allow for if the three ball is not working, which it has been working all year.
No.
Get to that hole. Mm-hmm. We have to understand that everybody's not going to be able to shoot three. Just because the league is ventured off into everybody shooting 30-footers, that's not Westbrook. He needs to shoot 5-footers.
That wasn't Kobe either. I get it. A lot of people can't shoot the three.
So till he gets to a level where he's mature.
All right, because this video is like really desynced. Like, it's like way off. All right, so I'm going to make this point and then I'm going to end it here. All right. If I was a player like Russell Westbrook and I had his athletic gifts, the first thing I'm doing is I'm treating the basketball court like it's a fucking racetrack. Like, I'm just running up and down the court. And I believe he has the conditioning to do so. I'm just running my defender till they can't run anymore. Till they can't run any fucking more. I'm moving. I'm constantly moving. Off-ball movement. Just keep moving. Tire whoever is defending you, tire them out. And then as many times as you can, get out on the fast break. Try to run in transition. The more you can keep running, the more you're going to tire the team out. And then you'll be able to attack the basket. You'll take the wind out of them. They won't be able to really shoot from deep because they'll be too tired to shoot from deep. And you gotta treat it like it's a fucking track meet. And you gotta tire them out. And I believe if Westbrook plays like that, where he's attacking the basket as much as possible, he's forcing the ball inside, he's being as physical with whatever point guard is covering him as he possibly can, without getting called for fouls or anything like that. That best suits him, but it's like he tries to do so much. He tries to be a mid-range shooter. He tries to be a fucking finisher at the rim. He tries to be a three-point shooter. Or he tries to be what is it? A spotted three-point shooter. He tries to be a off-the-dribble three-point shooter. I mean, this dude is trying to rebound. He's trying to pass and facilitate. He's trying to do everything, and he's trying to run the defense. Like, you're trying to do so much shit, but a lot of times, man, and just in life in general, man, a lot of times when you're good at so many different things, the more things you try to do at one time decreases the value of everything that you're doing, because you have no time to sit down and just focus on one thing and try to perfect that one thing. You're so focused on doing so many different things that the quality of the work that you're doing isn't as great as it could be. I mean, not everybody can be a player that can just do everything. Like, I believe the only player I've seen that can do everything at a high level and win while doing it was Magic Johnson, where this dude literally can play every position on the floor at a high level. And Westbrook is just not one of those players, man. You're just not that guy. You're so gifted. Just let the game come to you naturally. You're faster than it. You're faster than a lot of people. Sorry. You're faster than a lot of people. Use that to your advantage. But he doesn't. He's so busy trying to be a Steph Curry. He's so busy trying to be a Damian Lillard. Sorry. That it just takes away from the game that he actually has. And that's a shame. All right. So I'm ending here, man.